your time. Please feel free to fill in the ice-breaking survey that I want to know a little bit more about you and the background so that I can tailor-make your class. So you notice that some of you notice that I teach in other sections, but these two sections are not identical because I adjust according to people progress. Although the final exam will be the same, but I would make sure that try to cater for different group requests. Some class may be faster, sometimes the class will be slower, but try to make sure that you are maximizing your learning outcome. So before we start, maybe just if you have time, you can fill in. Then I know a little bit more about you. But just give 1 more minute, then we can see something about you. Then there was something about me. Survey, then you can go to U-Reply. I will keep using the U-Reply during the break so that I keep track of your progress. You can tell me how to do it. So, okay. So, we 1 or 2 more minutes. If you haven't done so, it would be great if you can log in and fill in the survey so that I know more about you, and then I can adjust my class accordingly. Okay, so okay, I guess without further ado, then probably we can. Once it's passed through the 70%, then I will start. Okay, so that's pretty much seeing how well today, and then majority of you are happy and excited. Some of you are tired, understandable, because first 2 weeks, then you're tired. But not Friday, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you view our class is we have class canceled. That means that we have to make up somehow. And if you look at the blackboard, then we'll make up 1 day on the on October, because I also have to miss you on 1 Friday, so we just have to make up class on the same Saturday. So hopefully that, I mean, the make-up class will be on Zoom anyway. So if you have other obligation, then you can attend by Zoom. Make-up class, so you can attend by Zoom, or if you can't, then you can attend other section, which is supposed to be very similar. So while you're here, there are many questions, many answers. So let's see. Most of you that you like morning class, and you don't like afternoon. Okay. So yeah, I think we have the afternoon section. If you really hate this section, you can do the Wednesday afternoon section. You can drop a little bit. When I was student, I also hate morning class. But once a kid, then you send them to school, then you're nothing to do in the morning. It's good to have morning class anyway. So maybe you guys are too young. I mean, when you get older, then you will like the morning one, and then you appreciate having an early sleep is very important for the healthy of your the mental or physical. So the next question is with statistics and see how you think, right? And many of you is like managing a lot of numbers to get conclusion that's almost right. I mean, it's just like to get the truth from the data and get estimation. Estimation, as you see, is part of the, or prediction is part of the main goal of the statistics, because we want to know some answer.
That is a little bit more general because, well, statistics is a mathematical model, but yeah, find a problem, define problem, yeah, collect data. Yeah, that is a very good thing, right? You start with a problem. So that is something we talk about today. The first class is use data to answer questions. So basically, it's just what this class is about, right? And of course, different type of problem require different type of technique, but this is yeah, numbers. Yeah, summarize what we want, right? It's like collect data and there's some rules. Yes, I think there's some estimation prediction, right? And in the second half of our course, we talk about machine learning, and in that time, then actually we don't have any rules because unlike regression model, there's a clear mathematical object there, right? If you learn the reason of AI, the neural network, and also these complicated trees, and then there will be not easy. They're not exactly no exact rule there, but there's some algorithm, some data to find out. Yeah, this kind of test. Yes. Wow, that is too grand. This is good, it's right, but yeah, but that is a very generic thing. Yeah, that's right. Play with data. Yes, that's correct. Oh, I see Chinese. This is good. Yeah, about big data. Yeah, big data part is also very common. So I'm pretty sure that you know what we're doing here, right? Most of you know why you're here. Okay, the next question. So I guess most of you would know some basic concept of that. That's good. Although some of you would disagree. Although it's master class, I will try to make sure that at least our entry level is accessible to most of you. If you don't, I mean, we don't assume you have a good knowledge of statistics, or because this data is about data analysis. So we hope you have some statistics, but if you don't, then need not worry because you're IT manager. So expecting you to know some concept, but the math concept is something we do not require that much. We need you to know how to know intuitively the concept of statistics, not exactly the mathematical precision there. So what we need you to know is the way how you understand the concept, but math is the way to express the concept precisely. So, but you can also have the concept precisely without the math, right? I like math. Okay, that's okay. I mean, half of people like math, so it's just okay. But don't worry, you are not about math this one. Another programming. Well, it's surprising to this class where your IT manager you hate programming. Then why are you here? My question is, but it's okay. You hate what you're doing, but fortunately, my class is not about programming. So it's about calling function or library from Python. So even if you hate program, it doesn't really matter. So the interface, we have a textual interface. So basically, it's just like the app. You just use your finger to click. But instead of clicking, we just type the command. So it's just not graphical interface yet. I know Python. Oh, good. That's good. Majority of people say you know Python, so that's good. I guess you know Python because no means you understand how to operate. I mean, of course, you know may not know Python, but no. Okay. In this class, we don't cover R because of the time constraint. Well, we used to cover R in the last year, but students are not very too happy about R. So I just focus on Python this year. And the fact that Python and R in terms of statistic function and programming is so similar. And that even if I just cover Python part, you're able to pick up R easily. But the reason being that the most useful package for statistics in Python being translated from R. So basically, if you know the syntax of Python, it shouldn't be difficult for you to translate it to R. So, but do know that our class have data camp, which you can learn by yourself. So you can go there to check out if you want to do our. But now these days we have AI or ChatGPT, which allow you to, if you give them the command on Python, then ask them to translate it to R, should be no issue there. Last question. So most of you have no Python, so I think it's good. Then just focus on Python is all right. So thank you for letting me know your background, so we can go ahead to talk about a class. Okay. Although this is the second week of a class semester, but we are only first week for us because of the typhoon, as we mentioned. So I'm sure you. So I actually the 9th floor in this building. So I'm come from the business school. So I'm an economist. I do theory, mathematical model, and also I do empirical study. And I've been teaching this class last year, and also teach undergraduate statistics. So, so pretty much safe to say, I mean, so I should be able to help you on this learning on statistics. So office hour is by appointment because of everyone have very different schedule. Everyone's very busy. So just email me and then see whether you need some help. But most likely, you will be asking our TA, Cindy, who's also in this building. So he's our TA this class. She will be answering the question. If you ask me, I will just direct you to her first. In case she can't solve the problem, it will be me. Okay. But most of the time, I mean, I'll talk to you during the break of the class. So if you have any questions, so hopefully we solve your problem right away. Of course, you go home, you read the textbook, you may have some problem as well, but you're welcome to ask our TA, which, I mean, this is her job to clarify the questions you might have. So what we're doing for this class is basically teach you the basic statistics together with some data analysis tools. But our goal is not to teach you the mathematical objects, but rather how to apply them. It's applied perspective. And that prepare you for the second semester where you will learn machine learning. So this class is introductory, but we will also, the second half of the class, we touch some machine learning. So you have some rough idea what's going on before you do the second semester. This class is more hand-on class, so that's why we're here. And you are expected to operate the computer in front of you, or you bring your own laptop or iPad to work out, where we will use the code lab to do all the coding. And as a requirement, you need to attend the class in person for 7%. In case you have to miss this class, please email me then in advance so that you can attend the Zoom. Okay, but you have to have a prior approval to attend the Zoom. This is a requirement on the program. So the textbook, I think is very important, is this one. I carry the hard copy with me. You can use the e-version. Old-fashioned people like me would have to read the paper version. But you guys are new generation, probably hate books and you want to read on your iPad or laptop. So, but I really want a hard copy, but I got it from Amazon, so you can just buy it from Amazon, or you can get the bookstore there. I don't know whether they're hard copy, but I think there's soft copy available. Having a book is very important. Many of you, I mean, already spent a lot of money for the master program. So extra textbook is not, compared to the cost, is very minimal. And this will carry you long way because the book, I would recommend hard copy because sometimes when you're on the subway or nothing to do, just read 1 or 2 pages is very helpful. If you can't sleep very well, just read this book. This book is very fun to read. It's not very boring, not very math. I mean, I read time to time, and this morning I come to school. I mean, it takes 1 hour for me to come to school. So I live in Hong Kong Island. So every day I take 1 hour back and forth. It's 2 hours. So nothing to do. I just read the book. I mean, either on the phone, I have the e-copy as well. So or I have the soft copy. So don't complain. Say about you have to spend an hour come to Shenzhen. I mean, or half an hour. I spend 1 hour come to here. Okay, so it's not something. Traffic doesn't stop you to come to the class to learn. right? So about the assessment, which most of you might care or not, we have individual assignment. Last year, it's too easy, so don't use last year as a benchmark. This year it's slightly more difficult because of complaints, so I will make it a little bit more harder. The group projects, which I will talk about a little bit later, is to make you work on some actual problem that you're interested in. I don't limit to whatever topic that you want to do. You can do whatever topic that will relate to statistics. I will go over some example later. But you do in a group, I think group of 4 to 6 students, because teamwork is important. So you need to learn how to team with others. Okay? And also we have content assessment, which you will see we will do quizzes. Here I say in class. I'm not sure if we have time to do in class because class time is very constrained. So maybe I just do out of class. It depends on the time. But you will be doing the Blackboard, you just multiple choices. Just pick up the answers. It's a very simple one. Just make sure that you just read it. If in the class open book, of course, if at home, then open book as well. So you can consider that it's just like self-assessment whether you do it right or wrong. Okay, and then basically, if you get all the credit if you answer more than half of that. You get 10, you get 1 credit point, and most is 10 credit point anyway. So most people would get full credit anyway. Just make sure that you read the book and some ask you some question from the slide or the book. Okay. Or if you don't get full credit, or if you participate in the class, then you also get some credit there. But anyway, most people get full credit for this one. Okay. Shouldn't be an issue there. The test will be the final one. You'll be last class of this course. You'll be like 2 hours or 2.5 hours will be last day, Friday, so in the morning. Make sure that there's no makeup for the final exam, unless you have special reason, just for the fairness. Because otherwise, I make another exam, then it's hard to make sure that the same level. So unless you have some special reason, you get prior approval from me, or there's a typhoon, but no, November, end of month, usually there's no typhoon anyway. There's no rain. Honesty and plagiarism. It's good you discuss with your friend and classmate, but you have to submit your own assignment. The group project, you should be sure that you don't plagiarize, copy and paste, because AI now is easy to detect whether you are cheating or not. In the past, it's very difficult. Now it's very easy. So our PA will check using AI program, your IT manager. So maybe you are good to use AI to defeat our TA, but don't underestimate our TA, okay? So other thing I wish pretty much standard. So here just I copy from other people's syllabus, probably apply to you. Just try to, because if those of you who don't know statistics well, or who may not know enough, then please prepare the class beforehand. Try to read the book before you come, because this textbook is huge, right? And we cover a lot of stuff. So if you don't prepare, then you can't maximize your learning outcome. And after the class, please try to read the book, because we can't cover everything in the book, and try to read them for time. And for software, you can use the DataCamp link, which I already, I think I put it on. Here you can go to the DataCamp link, which you can, because of educator program, so basically you can go there and register and use it until the March. So you can self-learn a lot of programming beyond Python, and there are many things you can learn there. But For exam purpose or project purpose, I think the thing we cover in the class is sufficient. But as my IT manager, I would expect you to know more programming, so especially the data. So you may want to go there. I think some other teacher also recommended data chem as well. So that would be the my part. And I think I need to go a little bit over about no, this slide. This project. Yes. Something about projects. As I said, you would form a group of 4 to 6 students. You will be present on the 11th class. The 12th class is the 11th class. Then basically, I want you to consolidate what you learned in this project, okay, in a business setting. So that's why you can imagine this is an open-ended assignment. It's the most important assignment for this class. I think it's more important than exam as well, but because you want to work on that. And remember presentation in the 11th week, and you submit your final report the following week, which is the exam day, is the last day. So although I said you want to do the group project from 4 to 6 members, but if you're really a lone wolf, right, you really a person who hates doing with others, I allow the option you do individually. The presentation time and the page limit are proportional to the group size. Okay, so what we ask is if you are a single person team, you just need to submit single page of the report. If you're 2-person, you just 1 A4 paper. If you have, suppose you have 4-person group, you only submit 4 pages. Okay. The page limit is to make sure that you make your report very concise and make your report a business level, not a long report. Same as presentation. We don't allow you to present a long presentation. It's very short. It's one class for the 60 students. So we have 3-hour class. So everyone can only speak 3 minutes at most. Okay. So you have to make sure that you are able to convince people in 3 minutes if you do it individually. Tell us the bottom line and then present your finding. Okay. I don't care. Don't tell me how to clean the data, right? Show me exactly what you found and then support with that. Of course, everything beside the written the report tell the key detail, but you also would give us appendix detail document how you get your answer, right? It's the executive summary of the report is just one single page, but you can back up with your support by the document, right? As an IT manager, you know, everything have to be documented in a systematic way, right? So I'm not going to go over every single detail, but you can check that out. I think when you do it, and you know what to do. The question we can discuss later. Okay. Is there any question before we start? Because I think that would be a good time for you to ask a question, or you have comment or query about our assessment, our class. Please feel free to do it. Oh, maybe I haven't told you. I have to tell you what we're covering, right? So that is a big thing that we should be talking about. Is what is it? What is this course about? And you go over it. We can see the last class is the test and presentation, right? With only 10 classes. Maybe we have more material than the class, so we only allow 1 class for presentation. Just squeeze a little bit. So the first class, which we'll do today, if lucky we'll be finished, is what about the data itself, right? Because as some of you will know, actually saying the new reply is we are using data to answer questions, right? So the first thing is to understand the data
how it is born, how it's generated, how to assess the quality, right? Because the main thing, chapter 1 will tell is garbage in, garbage out. If you try to have not good data, then your answer you'll be given will be wrong. So have to make sure that your data is right. And the problem of an IT manager is not about lack of data. It's about too much data. But you have a lot of data, then you have to select which data is relevant and how to clean it up and how to combine data. So that will be the main part there that for an IT manager. And then once the data there, you know it's a nice quality, then you have to clean it up before you do it. That will be the chapter 2 is about preparing data analysis. And these two parts are actually the main thing. Turn out to be the rest, although mathematically complicated. Turn out to be this chapter is the most crucial for data analysis. Right? As I said, just now it's garbage in, garbage out. If you don't get the data right, then you make it wrong. And preparing data is the most time-consuming exercise. No matter which data you get, it's the part where it's most difficult part. I don't know whether you cook. If you cook, you figure out that the most time-consuming is not cooking itself, is how you get the food from the market, clean it up, and cut in a nice form, right? Prepare it, season it, and then the time you put it on the stove or in the machine you want to cook, and that is actually very fast, right? But the time that you prepare it and how to cut out the part unwanted, how to cut in nice form, that is the time that we most spend. Same with data, right? Where how we get it and how to clean it up and combine nice form, useful one. This the one that is most time consuming and is a key for the success of data analysis. And topic 2, which we'll cover next week, we're doing some elementary analysis. Try to look at what is inside data, plot some graphs, and try to look at how variables are related, right? Because one of the main questions coming from data is we're looking about cause and effect. How X change lead to Y changes, right? Because we want to take decision in business, we want to take action, right? Remember your IT manager, right? There are a lot of cases that you have to analyze IT data, right? For example, you are working for Taobao or e-marketplace, right? And very often you are going to improve your website or improve your system. And what we're going to do is you're not going to implement right away, right? You're going to have a small scale experiment and try to check if this is effective or not, right? Then we'll talk about cause and effect, whether this new policy, new setting, new implementation will lead to better outcome, right? Then you have to do is to talk about correlation. It's cause and effect. So correlation is the first step of establishing cause and effect. We're humble first. You're not going to say whether X cause Y. We're going to say whether change in X together with change of Y. So this is the first part. Okay, it's not about, but this is very important, right? When we have to establish change in X lead to change of Y, then we can say together with other evidence, we can tell X cause Y, which will be covered at the very end of the course. We'll cover causality. And then the third part is talking about how to generalize things from data and how to form hypothesis testing, which is asking the data to help us to make decisions. Okay? It's asking the data to tell us, okay, whether we take this decision is good and meaningful or not, right? Is implementing this new change in the website going to improve the traffic? Is it going to help customer retention? Is it going to make our network working more efficiently? Okay? These are the problems that we address in week 3. And week 4 and week 5 and week 6 giving you the most useful tool in statistics is what we call regression model. Okay. To put it simply, if you don't know statistics or you can't recall, regression is basically drawing a line to fit the best in the scatter plot. Okay? A line or linear model, right? Simply speaking is you have a scatter plot. I hope you know what scatter plot is. Okay, basically regression, X and Y. Okay, we have some data point here. This is called scatter plot, right? Each clause is an observation, right? And regression is simply find a best line to fit it. Okay, of course you can allow nonlinear line if you have a nonlinear model, but regression is simply fitting a model to the data, or in generic sense is you have mathematical model, okay, which simplifies the data, right? Because data is very complicated. Okay? You want a simple representation of data that's called regression. Okay? And the method of regression, which we cover in 4 and 5 and 6. Okay? And if you learn introductory econometrics, you spend the whole semester to learn regression. Okay? Of course, we don't have the luxury to go over the one semester, but we give you an idea. Of course, we can't go through every single detail, so we'll give you the main core of regression. Okay, and if you want to know more, then you have to learn from other classes. Okay, and the topic 7 and 8 we'll be talking about machine learning, okay, and which is a more complicated type of regression. You can imagine, if you want to put it this way. Okay, regression is a very simple model, and you can imagine I have a big data. I just reduce the number of parameters, number of moving parts to very small number, maybe 10 or up to 100. Okay? It's usually a very small number. It's a very small scale model. Okay, but machine learning, if you know some of AI or those kind of things, you know we want a hugely complicated model, which is more than maybe thousands or billions of parameters, right? If you know ChatGPT, right? You know there are billions or trillions of parameters. Okay? So, and that requires you to have a more complicated model. Okay, 7 and 8. And those of you would ask, the question is why we will have simple model and the complicated model. Why don't we just use one and just done? Okay. And turn out to be later, you will see there's a trade-off between these two. Okay. And simple model is very good. Give us, because it's very simple, we can simplify the way that we can understand. It's machine understandable. And usually it's very good for prediction. Okay. Out of the south. But the machine learning model is better prediction, but you don't know why. Just know we give you some result. Okay? You can't tell you what it is, but it's what it is. Okay? And also it can be very sensitive to data. Okay? The data you fit in, okay, can change how you train it, can change the result a lot. Okay? So that's why today we talk about how to clean the data, because you try to build a huge model. Your data is wrong, then you train your data wrong. You train your model wrongly. So how to have a right data is very important. But these 7 and 8, we try to keep it short because we learn it in other class. I think second semester, I think Professor Jean will talk about the machine learning much more. So we just touch the surface of machine learning. We use Python to run over there. We have a small scale models. And 9 and 10 is, as I said, we try to establish causality, where we try to say how we can say X actually causes Y. Okay? And these will be important because you want to make business decisions. As I said, right? You want to use data to answer some question, right? Usually we want the data to educate us, which is the right way to do business, which is the right way to make the choice, right? Which is the right way to program, is the right way to write your interface, is the right way to design your website, with the right way to write your app, so on and so forth. All these questions have to ask the market, ask the user, right? And user behavior will tell us what is the right thing, right? and these require you to understand 9 and 10. So I hope we come to the end. Is beginning, we know how to state data, how to analyze them, tell you the regression model, the simple model, and complicated model, machine learning model. And at the end, we tell you how to establish causality, ask you how it's caused what. So this is the plan for 10 weeks. Of course, we may not be able to cover everything because of depend on how fast and how quick you understand material, but everything is in the book anyway. So I hope to cover anything, but really depends on how fast we are getting. Because other parallel class that I taught last Wednesday, they said my English is too fast and asked me to slow down. So I'm not sure that I'm speaking too fast or too slow. You can tell me in the break whether that is acceptable or not, or I should slow down or I should get faster. Because some material I don't know. I mean, maybe you learn before you find it too easy, so I can go faster. Or some material you think I need to go more in depth, I can go faster. I can go deeper. So it really depends on you, not on me. I just help here to facilitate your learning, right? So fast or slow depends on you, not on me. Since you pay huge tuition for this class, so you want to maximize your learning outcome, right? So yeah, pretty much here. Okay, but so far, any question, concern, query that I can help to address before the break? Okay, if no, we still have some time. So let me have 3 minutes introduction of what we're doing and the break. Okay, so this is the lesson 1. Okay, as we said, the objective is today is we understand your data, how data is born. Why? Because IT manager, you always have data available from some other department, right? Or you grab from the system. But you have to know how the data is being generated. Because you want to answer a question, you need to know how they're being collected. Because usually it's collected by our department or collected by the programmer that writes the program that is not you, but other people. Okay? Or even you can forget, right? Is it going to the data, how you understand the variable you got, you understand the data how it generates, because you need to make sure the data collected fit what you want to do. I think that's what you want. And then we have to learn how to clean the data. So this is the chapter 1, chapter 2. Go home and read it if you have time. I'm pretty sure everyone's busy, but that is you should do that. So so that is being asked, right? We have to know how to collect them and how to assess its quality, how to organize them, and how to manage them. So we will it's a hand-on class. So later we will do the code lab. Okay. So basically, if you have time in the break, you can use your own favorite Python software. The one I will use is CodeLab. So this is the Google CodeLab. Why I do that? Because not the VS Code even in Summer, because this one's online. So you can use it on the iPad, use it on your phone, use it on anywhere, and it's the cloud based. So that makes things easy. Okay? And the interface is the IPython. So so just basically here, when you open a file, it's the IPython notebook. Then it's simply that you say 1 + 1, then just same as other. Just click run, then you will just wait a little bit because it's cloud. You will come out solution right away. Okay. Then if you say I want to, then you will just display the answer right away. The first time is slower, but second time is much faster. So we use Python instead of VS Code. And because this is uniform, you don't need to maintain all the package here. You don't have installation problem. So I use this throughout. I mean, of course, in the class, you can welcome to use the VS Code, but I'm not going to debug your code if your problem is. If you have this problem, this one I can help you. Because I never use VS Code. I use one or two occasions, but I really don't really like it because I come from the R first, so I really like the environment called Spider, which come from the Anatolia package which is very similar to R. So I don't use VS Code. So you try to ask me, I don't know. You should ask the people who taught in the summer to handle your problem. So I guess we should break. And just I guess it's because of the demand from other section as well. Is some of you think that if I have class ends at 12:15, then some people have problem of catching a train or lunch, whatever. So usually I would take our break, shorter 10 minutes break between each one, so that you can go home. The class will be off like 10 minutes earlier. So we cut the break by 5 minutes. Okay, so that's a break of 10 minutes. In the meantime, I mean, if you want, you are welcome to fill in another survey that tell me what you think, what you want. Is my English too fast or too slow? Is the coverage is okay or not? Because I can see come from the mainland Chinese education background or Asia background. Usually people don't want to ask questions. I'm not comfortable of speaking out. So I guess using this, you doing it anonymously, then you can tell me your honest opinion, whether I'm too fast or too slow, or there any comment on that. So I'll see you 10 minutes later. I'll go around to see the question, but we will resume at 10:22. Okay, so go around. Even a question. So feel free to go out, have a drink, water, coffee. If you smoke, do remember that this is non-smoking campus. So you have to go a little bit further. I'm not sure 10 minutes enough. Something for you to smoke further. If you really need to have a seat, then please feel free to do it. Not here, okay? Just outside the campus area. Or answer any question you might have. You have to know with the active B.B.A account. I don't know in the game. Then you have to go to the other side of just on the down the corridor and ask. I think I emailed you. Okay, actually, read this. So for those who are not in the lab computer, they usually have already received the password and the username when you join our program. So check your school email as be there. If not, then you can go to down the hallway. There's someone can check out for you. There's a lab television there. Or someone asked me whether this class is different from the Wednesday. It's the same one. Of course, depend. I would custom make a class according to the response. If people think maybe some class will class is lower, but overall it will be the same. Okay, maybe some class cover a little bit more because some people ask questions, but otherwise the main content is the same. So it doesn't really matter you attend which one, but you're supposed to attend the one that you register because of the space constraint. Right, so many people moving to say Wednesday, then they will not have enough space for you. Right, but if you do one or two times and occasional, then it should be okay. But you are supposed to attend the class that you registered for. If not, then if you really want to do it permanently, just apply permanently because you can swap. It's no the same thing, right? You can just talk to the program coordinator and say you want to swap to the other. Attendance is not part of the assessment, but you are required to attend 7% of your course. 面前电脑的，刚刚用自己电脑是没有问题。都没有，都没有干好，都没有干好。电脑还有还是那电脑做一个比较好的选择。
So I hope you have a good break of 10 minutes. I walk around and seems to be okay, but let's see how your response. Sometimes I speak too fast.
Okay, I try to control myself because I try to speak just as speak naturally. Okay, I try to do that slowly, slow down.
Oh, offer some projects. Oh, probably I can in the in the Blackboard, I already put the previous year's example. Since you asked explicitly, so I may just go to some example as well. So maybe I just take one project here. So it's a project done last year. You can see there's 2 of 6. This is done by previous year. As I said, you can do whatever you like, need not get to the IT. What they do is understanding crime patterns and predicting the crimes in LA. So the US is a city, Los Angeles, where a lot of crimes happening. So they want to see, look at data and try to figure out using data to answer some questions. So for introduction, as we said, we want to have a short report. So immediately tell us what it's doing, right? It try to answer the question of whether understand the criminal behavior, the pattern, and try to educate it decision based on the data, right? So it tells the data source, where it comes from, US government, and what kind of data they are getting. Okay, so there's the thing, and then they tell us how they process data. Of course, very quickly, then they do remove the extreme value, and there's some other thing you can check it out, because I'm not going to do detail because it's already on the Blackboard. So I'm not going to one by one. You can, if you want, you can go detail, go by them, and then they'll talk about the first question. They do some time series analysis, look at the time, the bar chart there, and then draw some conclusion there. And then look at where it is, look at the geographical location. They use the some Python module and map the geodata to the map. Okay. And this is how they do it. I mean, of course, they're pretty advanced tools, but some of you can do it without any issue. And here is, so far, it's just data analysis, right? So nothing new is created, but just have the data, you describe it, okay? Basically, you can imagine this data is just like an archaeology, right? Finding an antique from the ground, but just clean up the dust, you can see what it is. Okay, so basically, this is what you're doing, summarizing data, different data. There's no new knowledge being discovered, but look at the data in a more careful way and presentable way. This graph is a very nice way to present, right? And then they would build an area model, which is a model for time series, because you look at the time, right? It's times data here. So then they run some model and they were saying some cleaning and some tests, fit the model, and there's some prediction. Okay. And this will be a standard regression thing, right? For taking care of time series. So the simple model can predict relatively easily. Because this simple question will apply the simple model, making prediction on the crime number. Okay. It's going up or going down because this is something they care, right? The question is whether the crime go up, you need more police. Right? If not, then you don't. That's the question they're asking. And the next part will be asking, okay, and if you want more police or less police, well, regardless of what, then you need to put the police where and when, right? So then what they do is do machine learning method. They use their k-mean clustering with principal component. It's like some machine learning method. Okay. And there's some regression here, and they do some kind of further. They do some KNN. Later you will see some machine learning method to learn the location, right? So it's the thing, and then they fit the model and discuss the model. So this would be the report that we're asking, somewhat like that. The other report, something like just very briefly, right? So this is much closer to home because this one is looking at Spotify. Say, if you don't know, it's the website that
try to screen music, and then they try to look at which song are more hit, which song are more popular or not, and then they use various way of machine learning. I'm not going to go to detail, you can check it out. Different machine learning model, okay, which we learned in the class. We didn't cover neural network, but they just able to figure that out. But anyway, multiple linear regression model, linear regression decision-driven forest to figure out how to predict what song is good, what song is not. Okay. So I hope that gives you an idea what kind of project you do, but you're not limited to do IT projects. So, you can do whatever you think that the tools we learn in this class will fit your questions. You have something interested and you can work on it. Okay. So it's not restrictive. I hope I answer the question that is here. Is that okay? If okay, if you still question, you can ask in a second break, which will open this again, and then you can tell me whether I answer correctly if you don't want to tell. It's fine. Teach more detail, please. As I said, this is really depends on how the class is going. I mean, you can take a look of my slides. That is what we're trying to cover. Okay, of course, a lot of detail is in the book, and even the book, teach at master level, actually miss a lot of stuff, right? So, hope that it's okay. No, it just the score will be just proportional to what you're supposed to do, right? So, in a big group, I expect you to do much more, right? Because more people, you have more things to display, right? One person group, you just present one person work. Okay? So proportional, right? Proportional, right? The time you present, the page limit you're going to have, right? Or the expectation I'm having, okay? Proportional to that. Can I log in the computer in this lab? This lab require a password that's specific for this lab. You have the email, you can check the mailbox that they sent you earlier. If you still can't work, you have talked to the technician down the hallway. This technician for the handling all the B.A labs here. How you record attendance? As I said, I'm not physically taking attendance for each day, each class. That would be too time consuming. And I can also use the attendance record, but the problem is you guys are IT manager. I put a QR code, you just send it immediately to your friend. That is no use. So what I decided to do is a self-reporting system where if you know your classmate is not attending, just tell me. Okay. Otherwise, I assume you all attend class perfectly. Okay. You tell me if your classmate is absent consecutively 3 times, then your problem, right? Because there's no point of doing this because it's unless I have somewhere perfect way to monitor you. So otherwise, I think you're adult, you pay for the class, right? So if you don't attend, right, you can't do your homework, you can't do your exam, you don't learn, right? So I don't particularly do it. What if I'm late for my first class? You don't miss anything, and this class is record, so you can upload to YouTube so you can watch it later. The link there in the thing. So oh, good. Everyone thinks it's Friday. Not surprisingly, because this is the first time I have unanimous result. Because the Wednesday class always thinks Friday because Friday is a typhoon holiday. So even though they're on Wednesday, some people still keep thinking that's Friday. So that's good. Oh, okay. So this class is pretty uniform because usually I have a very diverse data where we have a very nicely data where efficient center here. Yeah, data collecting. Yes, we do Python or R. Yes. Yes, that is the key of the chapter 1. Okay, how you know the data. Yeah, you will say afterward, that's fine. Yeah, that's all right. That's no problem. We'll do the code lab thing. The speed is okay. Okay.
Good. Most of you can follow. Oh, sorry for you. I hope you'll be happy after the Friday. Yes, weekend is happy. Python have two main library methods. We will mostly use the package. Just data you see will be just several. Only very limited one. We are not using a lot, so we use numpy and SEIPY. That's pretty much basically 3 or 4 main package to do data. Maybe we will see more, but it's the main thing. Oh, is it joke or sharing? Yeah, probably you should don't use the iPhone or the smartphone. I used to set 5 alarm, separate 5 minutes each, so I make sure that I wake up. Yeah, so that will be the tips. The exam can stay as same as last year. Will be somewhat similar but slightly more difficult. But would be something somewhat similar, but maybe slightly a little bit more difficult because last year everyone performed very well. Slightly a little bit more, but more or less the same. Yeah, CoLab is good. I recommend that. Actually, I put it on the class notice actually at the beginning of the week. It's there, but I didn't email everyone. But I figured out that you probably don't read the Blackboard, so I just decided to email it. The reason I do this is because actually I figured out that we need a lab after the first class last week, and because some of you don't bring the laptop, so they just when I run the Python, they just look at me. I feel terrible for them, so that's why I moved to the lab, I think we'll keep the schedule like this, unless there's some special thing. So we have this, and for October, November, we're not so sure yet because the booking of the lab only can do it 1 month in advance. So maybe that change it, but I'll email again. And by the end of this month, probably we can book in November. But if they're available, then I'll let you know. But I was thinking that the WMY and here not too far away, right? So shouldn't be. It's not something like a big problem. Apologize if you find walking 10 minutes is a big trouble for your leg. We'd love to know some real business that cater to student. Well, they're easy because most of research are business stat. I don't know what actually you want. Maybe if a more specific business stat case. For example, the thing that we just talked about, how to find hit song from Spotify is a real business case. Of course, they may not do it very in depth, right? Because we want to look at everything. Other case looks like, say, one case is like Netflix, right? Netflix or maybe other mainland Chinese video website or TikTok, right? They have some what we call the recommending system AI, right? Then they also use the AI tools to do that. And everything mostly you see is about algorithm and statistics, right? So I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but Google by itself, the search engine is based on this type of page rank algorithm. But I'm not sure what you want to talk about. So are you talking about some statistics in business application? If you finance or talk about research, I do finance, empirical analysis, or behavioral finance. I'm not sure whether that fit what you are thinking. Because business is very broad, so not sure exactly what you want to be more specific. I can direct you to some research paper that actually do statistics. And if you anyway you pick up any research paper these days, at least half of them are using data. So not sure I answer your question, but but maybe we can be more specific in the next round of the survey. Then I'm not. I will be better. I'm sleepy. Yeah, I can be very sleepy. What I can recommend is coffee. Just drink more coffee. That will make you awake. Actually, I have a big coffee this morning. When if I teach, I have some more coffee that make me awake. Something that is also useful is chewing gum, which I do that when in US, everyone has chewing gum. So that would be helpful. I do remember that chewing gum is very useful, but I stopped taking chewing gum because I taught in Singapore for 7 years where I can't have chewing gum. So I used to it now, that I just switch to coffee or tea. But that being said, sleep earlier, that is most important to make you stay awake. But anyway, let's get started. Hopefully, when real things start, you'll be less sleepy. Things are a little bit sleepy when we are not really doing. Okay. So some Python self-review. I hope that you would have know how to all the keywords here or some library here that would ring the bell. These are the things that we'll be using for this class. But of course, we'll start slowly. I mean, when we do it, we assume we forget everything you learned from scratch. Okay. If you say that I'm too slow, then I can speed up. Okay. But I will assume that everyone start from scratch again, and then we do it again. Okay. Make sure that you're happy. Okay, this is the thing that you can look up the AI or look at the book and see how they're working, but we will do it slowly. Okay, all the data. So what's data? Data is the information that we try to use to work on the uncertain problem. And the very useful form of data is data table, where that usually what you do is we have observation and variable, and each observation is organized as a row, and what you can observe is the column and variable. So this is the table, and usually this is how data being stored in Python or other database. So that is the data table. And the way they store in general in our class or in many other databases is the CSV file format, is the comma separated values, where each row, okay, will be separated by comma, and each comma will represent different columns. Okay. And later you will see some of the example. We'll show you what a CSV file and how they look like, and then that will be it. And next will be data structure. These are the 3 different types of data that you encounter in real life. The first type is cross-sectional, where you observe everything in a point of time. Okay, that is common. Say, for example, you are working for a online marketplace like Taobao or Tmall or JD or Amazon, where they would say have a big sales like Bachelor Day, 110, right? And now they call 双十一, right? Double 11, and you have a big sales there, right? And then you have a data of consumer on that particular day, right? For everyone, right? And that is a causal data, right? Or you're doing many sales on a particular day, you collect everyone, that's causal data. And the second one is time series data. And that's the data that you observe the same guy over many days. Okay. For example, you are looking at the website, okay? You're looking at a particular guy who come to the website and click this and click here and click there and click there and here and there. You have same guy, same individual, but you observe over time how he performed and so on and so forth. Sometimes. Or look at the, usually it's a single website, right? Look at the traffic in and out and so on and so forth, right? Look at particular company, and this data is time to data. Right?
But more often than not, you will have the panel data these days, where you observe multiple individuals over time, right? Say you will be observing now the sales from say Tmall or JD.com online is not one day, multiple days, right? Say I think the recent is the mid of the year sales, it lasts for a month, right? B.B.A, right? It lasts for a month. And then it's like not many customer for many times, it's for the calibrator. And the reason why we have to distinguish this three is because later you will see the tools we apply depend on the type of data. Okay, you have to adjust your regression model according to the type of data you have. Okay? So that's why we have to tell you in the beginning, we have to be very careful with the data structure. So let's put our hands on, then you will be less nifty, I would presume. We'll work on this, the most happy part. Whenever I learn statistics, the happy part is I can work on something. I don't know you, but it's me. So hopefully you enjoy it too. So this is data that talking about you go to a holiday, you go to Europe, go to Vienna, right? And then you have to buy a hotel, you have to not buy a hotel, but you rent a hotel for 2 days, right? And then you want to find a good deal. Okay, so what you do is look at price comparison websites. Okay, what is data collected way back, okay, like 6 years ago, okay, and you collect some of data because you want to find a good deal, not just prices. It's important to look at quality, right? Look at how many stars they have. Okay, so good quality, and whether they're far away from the city center because you want to go there, not to spend time on traveling, right? And besides the star, which is given by the rating of the hotel association, but also look at other customers' rating, right? And look at whether it's a hotel or apartment or Airbnb, those kind of stuff, right? Or service apartment, they also be there as well. So now we are going to look at this data. Okay. So we're going to do this data is a CSV file. So let me click this guy and I allow it. Okay. And let it download is a CSV file. Okay. And let me open here. Okay. And let's see before we open Excel. So we just open at the Notepad. The Notepad allows us to see the type of the file we have is like this. Okay. For those who have worry about it's too dense. You can see there's a column, each column is separated by a comma. This comma didn't. Of course, this looks terrible. Of course, I'm not going to open it this way. You will just double click it. You get Excel automatically open a nice form. So this is a form that usually you will see, say Excel form. Okay, and then you can see different. This is the data table, right? Because you can see each row is an observation. Of course, the first row is telling you what variable they're looking at, right? The first one is country. The second one is city, the rating, the prices and neighborhood and so on and so forth, right? And each row means one hotel at some prices, right? And what day and what time and whether it's apartment or hotel, how many number of nights. Okay, so these are data set. You can see 428. Okay, so this data. So this is CSV file, and of course the first thing to do is to check the meaning of each column. Do they make sense? Do you know them? Okay, but I'm not going to do that. But this is the part of the job. Okay. To see whether the data. Do you understand every column? What the column means? Okay, and usually they should come with the data explanation file. Let's see if they have or not. I don't know if they have or not. Usually the data should come with the data explanation. Let's see if they have. So this data is come from the textbook. You can check out the details of this data behind.
It's a README file there. So the README file there tells you the data description and where the data source, where the data, okay, where the variable with the name here in detail. Okay, I'm not going to go over that, but just one by one can check. Okay, so you should, the first thing to do is understand each single column. What does that mean? Okay, and look at where it comes from. Okay, and what type of data it is. But we'll talk about it in the top in the chapter 2. But I hope now it's relatively clear. This is the first data set we have. Okay, and this is trying to look at how the data looks like. Okay, and in Excel you can easily check it. Okay, but in Python you have to solve the data. Okay, we need to command how to do it. Okay, now let's go to the code that shows you how to do it. Okay? And so if you're a code lab, okay, you will see to import the data is slightly troublesome, okay, because it's on the web. So you either have to upload the system before you do it. Okay, if you have the file, it's local. So that's why what you do is you have to rely on a library called google.codelab, and then the files. This is the one that try to allow you to upload. Okay, allow me to copy this and place it on the Google Colab. Okay, let me copy this here. Okay, and let me do that. Okay, this is the line there. If I click the run, then you will tell you where to input your file. So suppose I do that here. I run this. Okay, you will tell me to choose which file to upload. Okay, because this command is trying to upload the file, right? The file is not in the system yet. Okay, then you would choose the file, and then you can pick up the file that I just download there. I didn't download. There is the file in the desktop. Okay, so the one I do in the desktop. So I do the file in desktop. The file. Where is it? Desktop. This will be desktop. Let's wait. Let me see. Let me do that again. Sorry about it. I download it again. Oh, it's in the B.B.A lab. Oh, okay, I put it down. Hopefully it's there. You see? So then you will upload to the system. Okay. And you can actually find it here. Okay. But I think I just don't have the right name here, so I just rename it anyway. Okay. So in case you don't want to type this code, you can just go to the left-hand side of this file folder here. You can just upload. Do the same thing. Okay. So I just put here, I just use the command to make everything is command driven. So it's here. Okay. Now, once I do that, the system has the file I need. Then what I'm going to do is to use I/O input and output to connect the file. Okay, and then as Panda. Okay, Panda is referred to a library which is called the panel data analysis. It's the most important step that will allow us to use CSV. Okay, with the CSV, they will come up nicely. And then they got data file, the hotel.csv. So I may copy this one. and put it here. Close. Maybe I should run this again. Let me delete the file. Let me delete the file. And this again. Okay, it's there, and it's stored in BF. So you can check it out here, because Cook Lab allow you to just look at this one. You can check out if this is all right, it's here. Okay, you can check. They have 24 column and 428 rows. I stop here to make sure that you're okay with that. So because last class people said I'm too fast in the Python. Slow down and see if you're all right. The question, let me know. Try to. I hope you can download that one. Okay. And I don't have a little bit. Add one more line in case you have been downloaded successfully. To see whether successful is, you can also use the function called .head. Okay, which means that I try to look at first few lines with head. Okay, you do it. You should be able to see the data pretty easily. In the meantime, I walk around, receive any question that I can help, or you are done, okay, that. Hopefully you're able to upload the file and put an appropriate one. Of course, if you use the VS Code, then you don't have to, you don't do this one, but if you, that teach you how you can upload your file, make sure that you're okay with that. If it doesn't work out, then you can go to the blackboard. This code is updated automatically, so there's always a blackboard already. Okay, at the same time, you have access to my code. And I do it in the real time. Okay, so this is the way that if the file is in your system, okay? But in the class, we will rely on the file online. So we'll use the URL, okay? Directly use the Panda. Okay? We are not using this offline method. So what we will do in the rest of the class, we'll rely on this slide. Oops, sorry. We will rely on this URL method. Make a Panda. Where you will be doing is you type the URL of this CSV file, and just with CSV according to URL, it will come directly. Okay. So so this is the thing we do in our class. So because this is much easier. Okay. So you can try to run this one. Okay. If you're successful, then you know what's going on there. Okay. I hope that is clear. You can copy and paste and follow. This class is very hand-on because more likely than not, you forget what you learned from this class. You will have some keyword in your head, but I hope the programming will stay in your head because you work on it and then you know the muscle memory will work a little bit. For those people who wonder how to get the cat running around in your screen, it's not that difficult. You'll be use tools, setting, and go to miscellaneous, and you can decide what to. You get out the crab. I just want the kitty. Then then only kitty remain. So you can decide what kind of animal that to appear in your screen. Okay, why they're all gone. And maybe I just have a dog as well. Okay, so now, yeah, the dog comes out again. So now we are going to continue our journey is look at data already. Okay. So the next is first thing I want to talk is usually the data you get is too many columns. The first thing, the first command we learn, besides those we supposed to learn, is called the filter. Filter is a function where you will try to select columns. So here what I do is I will use tell them the filter of what kind of column actually we need. And we will be separated by this given list. And this is the list that I will check. So by doing so, your data will be collected from 24 columns to around 10. Okay. And then let's see. Okay. When I do this, okay, let me copy this here. Okay. Now remember we have 24 columns. Okay. And after I do this, okay, then you will see only have these few columns left. Okay, so the filter is exactly trying to pick out the things that you need. That is the one of the most first tool you do, right? Because you don't need a big data, right? Just keep the one that you need and you run it. Okay, I hope this is okay. Let's slow down a little bit to go around to see if any question. Is that okay? Question, just raise a hand. Say rather hand on class, so like tutorial style. I know it's very easy, but the last section, people said I should slow down. Oh, I see many people doing very advanced stuff, so maybe I can speed up a little bit. Okay, so let me go faster because I think that I'm too slow. Okay. The first next thing is data quality. As I said, it's garbage in, garbage out, right? So we need high quality data. But what is high quality data? How can we quantify that? All right. So we do have some criteria here. Is it the first is content? Is it available capture what we want to capture? Is it valid measurement? Is it reliable measure? Is it comparable? Do we cover everything we want to cover? Okay. And when we do sample, is it going to a random sample? Is the sample representative of what we want to know? Okay. So suppose the hotel data, right? Is it a special day to Friday? Is it Monday? Is it a public holiday? Make sure that your data is representative. Okay, so that is the idea. Okay, I'm going to go into detail for everything. So data documentation, as you can see, you should have the tell us how we collect the data, how they're being born using two files. You have the readme txt, which describe where the data set is downloaded. Actually, you just see they tell you what are the columns, what the name, how to collect them, right? And that help us. If you forget what I said, it's just here, right? Because this is the readme txt, right? They tell you in detail what are they. Okay, so if you try to work on your project, this is something that I expect you to have, right? Tell me what are data, right? You also see the project that actually done the crime one, right? Actually, they clearly tell me what the data, right? So that would be something that you expect to report. May not be in the report itself, but should be in the appendix where you should show people this. Okay. And how we collect data, there are many ways. I'm not going to go in detail, but that would be too boring. So that for IP manager like you, maybe the first two will be the most relevant. One is an API, right? Some programmer write that, then just get it there. And also
There are many famous databases which allow the API access, like the World Bank one, the economic data from Fred, okay? And also the web scraping, where you know where we are now. Suppose the Python able to use a package to grab the data from the web. That shouldn't be an issue for you. Either you also from the data from government, or you can do the survey by yourself. Okay, so these are the data that you can collect. As I said, data need to be representative, right? To be useful, because you are not observing everything here, but have to be representative. Okay, so the two ways to do it: one is to look at how data has been collected. The other is benchmarking, which we will do in the next week. Okay, we will generate some summary statistics, say mean, median, standard deviation, variance, or the shape, whether they look correct. Okay. And in all the things that we discussed in the class, most of them will make assumption for random sample, which means that we don't worry about data. The data is generated in a nice form, and don't need to worry much. So that is the terminology that we use. Okay, that means that our data is actually representative. Okay, if it's not, then we require some technique to handle those. Okay. So if you read the textbook, or many other textbooks, they will be talking about the most famous case in the world that is a big mistake, which is the presidential election in the US in 1936, which is the largest survey ever done. They actually asked 10 million people whether they support one candidate or the other. Okay? And the response rate is okay, 20%, which is high already. And to predict one candidate would win after this 57%, right? Which is way beyond the margin that you need, okay, to establish a conclusion from statistics. And turn out that, of course, you know it's wrong by a large margin. And you ask why? Because you ask 10 million people, it's a huge number, right? And what could go wrong? Turn out that one reason is they actually use telephone, and at that time, not everyone had telephone, and those with telephone are much richer than the rest, and basically you have a bias sample, right? And those who respond are actually richer, and then if you not the society voting, so only rich people voting you is not going to win the election. So you know, sample is biased, then no matter how large the data is, it's not going to work. So that answers the question of IT manager. You have big data, your large quantity of data. So does that mean that the data is representative? You have to carefully select your data to get the right solution. Okay? But I'm not telling you how to do the right sampling. Right? Suppose your data of 1 million customer or 10 million customers you have. You are not going to look at every single observation equally. Right? You have to carefully select the sample to do analysis, or to weight each observation differently. Okay? To take care of things like so let's go a little bit back to our hotel example and ask, you see how the data is being generated. And as I said, this is common web scraping, right? Data collection. It's a good quality because this is data actually coming from the real world, where you actually book the hotel. It's an accurate price, right? And this fits the question we want to ask. We want to find a good bargain for a holiday trip, okay? And one complaint you may have is it only rely on the price compare website, and not every possible website you go to, and you miss something, so not cool. But I think it's okay, right? And you only collect on one day, right? The question is it holiday? Is it weekday? If you go by week, is it today weekday, then you miss the holiday, right? The weekend is different, so have to be careful. Or there's some hotels not there, right? You have to know what you have missed. And the other famous case is called the billion price project, which later may look at. It's a data where there's some economists try to collect prices around the world, online, offline. Okay, it's just some people's IT manager will go there to grab the data online, and they send people on the street to read, to take pictures, to collect data. Okay? And then they do a lot of large multi-channel retailer in 10 countries. Okay. And the question is it that missing data? Of course, because small stores are not included, right? And the thing is it offline and offline the same thing? Not clear, right? Offline may be including some delivery fee, right? And the prices, do they include, doesn't include service? You go to haircut, there's no online haircut, right? Not comparable, right? So there's a lot of things here, right? Also massage, right? Massage, you go there to do massage, but now there's a delivery massage. The same thing, I don't know. Okay. Or food, right? People a lot of food delivery these days, right? So is it food in the store, the same as the food at home, or food delivered to your home, right? I don't know. So these are the things that you have to think when you collect data. Okay. And think about what can go wrong. Of course, they try to make sure that the online offline at the same time, right? Because you send the people on the street, they look at the price, and you have to at the same time check the price is on online the same day, the same time period, right? Because price in the morning and in the afternoon and the night can be different, right? We'll be doing sales, right? So they will try to make sure that would happen, right? And the last data set, during the book, they will tell you there's another interesting data set, which will come back in the chapter 2. It's called the management quality, which is a large-scale survey, worldwide survey, looking at company, look at the management style, because they want to look at why some company in some countries doing better than others, right? And this is the data. You can take a look later, but maybe also take a look, right? Because we will see it later as well. So the data look like this. So the data like this is their firm ID, which firm, the different year, they do different way, different city, different industry, the SIC industry, and the management score, operation score, whether they are lean, they are fat, the company is fat or lean, right? So a lot of people, less people, how the performance measure. Okay. So that is a big data set. Okay. And maybe I should show you the data there as well. This is data of a billion price project. Of course, they just only take a subset of it. The country, which retailer, which day, and which product, the price offline, online, and then so on and so forth. Okay, and the zip code and time, that many things you can have a picture. Because they're offline, they take a picture on the store to make sure that there's no copy and paste error. So are there many things there? Okay. So in this billion price project, because they need to look at how effective the management is doing. So what they do is to has a double by interview by M.B.A student with business experience to ask the manager how they do this and that, right? You can't really send undergraduate student there because they never have management experience. Okay? So they try to minimize the bias because they try to double blind, so we don't know who we're talking to. Okay? They will go to the sites and see things and give a score, right? Because you look at how manager is doing, right? They give a score whether the company performance or the management style. Okay? It's a management style study. I don't know whether this fit the answer that someone asked me with the business statistics. So I hope this is somewhat answering. This is some survey you can do that. Okay. Okay. And this is called the big data. Okay. And probably many of you would have idea what the big data is, but no one has ever tried to come up with a definition what the big data is. Okay. I don't know anyone will try to define it. Okay. But here's the book definition. Okay. The book define is very large data set, a lot of observation. PDN means that there are many rows. Okay. And the velocity means that they come very often. And whereby PDN is very complex, that means a lot of columns as possible. Okay, many rows, many columns, and come up very tight. And the velocity and also very accurate for me. Okay. And I'm not sure I'm happy with this thing, but the main thing, the main idea is big data doesn't mean representative. I emphasize again. So you have to check, even though a lot of data, is it going to be meaningful data, whether you need to resample it or you need to carefully check. Okay. And also the column, are they meaningful? We have to combine things maybe to get a meaningful measure. So just to remind you that will happen. Final remark. There one thing that may be careful for IP manager is it's easy to generate data from the system, but are you allowed to use them? Have to be super careful these days because of the legal and ethical concern, and then that may be dangerous. Some of data can't be used, right? And also it's always difficult and time costly for your own data, okay? For a company or for yourself, right? So usually try to not to collect any new data. You try to see what data available, try to see if they do the job. Of course, it's in company profit, but you sometimes have to bear it. And just to remind you, one thing is garbage in, garbage out, right? So you have to understand the data first. Well, no matter what you have for the data, look at the mini farm and check carefully each single column, understand what's going on. Right? That's very important before you use it. Okay. So I guess a time to break of 10 minutes. As I said, in the meantime, we will have a you reply and then you can tell me how well we are doing here. Start a new section. You can do the second break quiz, and let's have 10 minutes break. We will resume at 11:34. Go around to see if any question. So it's going to be好大，好大嘅大細咗，就嘅方面，這個會點會上來的，這是哪裡？環保，環保。We get back to our
see the feedback, see how well you're going. Could be faster, okay? Fast. Fast means you want faster or I'm too fast. It's a little bit ambiguous. Okay. Okay, that's good. I think you get the. So still you can see we still have 2% saying I'm too fast, right? Already some people complain, but okay, so most people still follow. Little bit hungry. Then you have to have breakfast early, little maybe to have bring some snack to eat. That would be something to do. No, so far it's okay. Then I try to be a little bit faster as you demand. Okay. So our goal is to finish the rest of things today. I think you're able to reach the goal because this is the first class slide, so it'll be fine. So how we prepare data for analysis. Okay. So one thing is to be careful is looking at data. You have to understand the data type. The reason is being that different data type would require different technique that to be applied to them. For example, nominal data, which is sometimes you call it the categorical data, which is a name, right? For example, the name itself is a nominal number, or the data we see just before, the management data, okay? This SIC, standard industry classification, although it's a number, but this only represents industry. So even though you see number, don't automatically come to the conclusion that they are meaning some numbers. It's just representing something behind it, right? And this, let's say the country is a nominal variable, right? And then, although they in the SI see the number, you can't really apply mean. You shouldn't apply variance onto that. Okay, and particularly later you learn machine learning, right? Just be careful when you input data. Don't make the computer think that it's a number. Then they will make some mistake, right? Because although say suppose you may consider this data is different by 1 or 2, then the machine learning will learn wrong. Okay? Make sure that you when you input the data in the right type, and then the machine will not learn the wrong. Same with run regression, right? You should never run regression based on this, right? They're different things, so have to be super careful, especially numbers. Make sure that you the number actually mean numbers, not representing something else, right? Say ordinal data, same idea. Ordinal data is also misleading as well. For example, ordinal number means the number that represents an order. Say, very often the IT manager faces a rating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But the problem is stars just represent order, right? Say hotels, 4 stars is better than 3 stars, 5 stars better than 4 stars. There's no concern about that. But the difference between 3 and 4 stars is not quite the same in 4 and 5, right? But what does that mean? It means that you can't really add and subtract and multiply. That would be meaningless.
That means that the usual practice we do average on the star rating is wrong. Right? You should use median, that is a better choice. Right? Instead of using mean. Right? Of course, sometimes you often see mean, it still means something, but not quite as the same as the mean of other things. Right? So have to be careful with the data, whether the data is interval data or ratio data. The difference is that the interval data, the difference, and the ratio data zero matter. What does that mean? The easiest thing is talk about temperature. Okay, the temperature, there's the two major things in US is Fahrenheit. In the British system is the Celsius. The Celsius, the zero means the freezing point, that makes sense. But the Fahrenheit zero means other things. Right? So we have to be careful. The reason is being that the ratio you can multiply, no problem. Right? But for the interval, when you multiply, has some issue with it. So multiplication have to be very careful. So why? Because when you do machine learning or do regression, when you apply transformation there, you have to be very careful, right? So can you do this operation? Quadratic log, can you square? Can you do bunch of other things? Have to be super careful. But I just mentioned it up to here, but you will know. And what we do in chapter 2 is try to clean the data. So we have the two steps to do is to from the raw data to the data we can use. And as we said, we understand the raw data, right? Understand the structure, the content. We've done topic 1, right? And then here we need to transform that to tidy data, which will define soon, okay? And then we will link the data, and then we will do the data cleaning in the second step, okay? The data is not clean because they are very dirty. There's something to clean up before you can use it. Just like the food. You buy from the market, maybe complete ducks and complete unuseful part, right? You buy a orange, you don't going to eat the skin, but peel it out, right? There's a seed there you don't want to have it, cut it out. So this idea. Okay. Now we go one by one, okay, and we'll do example here. The first is the data. Nice one to analyze is for the tidy data, which is actually the pandas package that I recommend. Okay. Each you do is each observation from a row and each variable from a column. Okay. That actually you see the Python already. Okay. The data we have. Okay. And do note the next one is each observation type on a table. So that means that you have many tables together. Okay. One table will store one thing. Okay. Say for a customer, okay, you may want to store his personal information on one table. His purchasing record on a table. Right? His other web behavior on a table. So one table just for one thing. You don't mix together. Of course, you combine. Okay. And how you combine this is each observation will be unique identified. Maybe in your case, in the customer case, the customer ID, right? Or the school record is the student ID. Right? These are the things that will be connected each table. Okay. That is how your data should be stored. Okay. An example is here is like in the hotel case that we have studied is the hotel ID, the price and the distance. So this is the simple tidy table. Because already the data data is already there. Okay. So now what you want to do is to first we learn before the break is we select column. Okay. Now what we want to do is to select the row of filtering with a row. Okay. So what we'll do is use the panda package, get the URL, and use the CSV function to read it down to put it inside the quality here. And then we want to check, okay, the accommodation type because we only want to find hotel. Okay, let me run to this line first. Okay, and then you will see what do we have, and then we'll go to the next part. Okay, let's go to here, and then run this code. Okay, let me wait 10 seconds before you do it. 10 seconds because other class tell me I shouldn't do immediate after I do copy. Because you want to have some time to do copy and paste. So that I wait 10 seconds. So you can see here we have a very interesting thing here. Right? You have the hotel, apartment, pension, guest house and hospital. Right? And then we really don't need all of them. Okay. And then also bed and breakfast, apartment, hotel, and vacation home condo. Okay. So we only want to go to hotel. Okay. So we really want to only select the hotel. So how can we do it? We'll use the function called LOC. Okay. It's just filtering the observation of the row. Okay. Remember the filter function is selecting column, but now we're selecting row. Okay. How do we do that? We will use involving a logical operator. It's trying to look at the column, the accommodation type. We will select that equal to hotel because there are many things, but we don't choose hotel. So these will give a list of 1 and 0 that will tell us which observation is needed and we will. Okay, so this is the line that will keep hotel. So let's see this is right or not. So let us run this line together. Okay. And after running, maybe we can do this again. Okay. Let's run this first. Okay. And running this nothing will happen. Okay. But we can run this line again to check if it's actually filtered out something. Okay. So as an IT manager, you know it's important to check actually the code did what you actually want to do, right? As a standard practice of programming. So I didn't put in the slide, but you should do it as an IT manager, right? You can check, oh, now, nice. My data only have hotels, and hotel have 264 entries. Okay, then you wait 10 seconds. Okay. So because of you have this data filter out, what we want is to look at the data again. Where am I? Yeah. And I only want to look at hotel ID, the price and distance, look at the first 3. And why I do that? Because this gives us this guy. Okay, so let's do that. So this should be exactly the one we see in the slide. Right? And we have 10 seconds. It's okay. Question, please let me know. I hope you are having no trouble doing that. By now, you are now expert in cutting observation by column. You know how to cut it by row. That should be no problem for you. So as a quick example, if you want to do something else, like I want my price to be less than $100, maybe less than $200, say. Okay. Then I run this, then you will only keep $200 less. Okay. But I'm not going to run this, but that would be something along the line how you clean up the call, get the observation by row. But anyway. Is that okay? Now the next is the data that you have usually will be 2 different type of format. One is called long format, one is called wide format. Okay, and there's always an issue because of the long format is usually the ones for the database. Okay, the IT guy also usually want to do it the long way. If I was a long way, but when you do analysis, the wide way is the better. But let me show you what the long and wide. Okay. So later you can see this data set which tell you the World Bank development data.
Maybe I can show you this one first. Okay. And this is the example of a long format. Okay. Let's show you this data set. Okay. This data set is long format. Why? Is ordered in the way that by year and by country. That means that when there's new data there's another row. And it's long because it's much longer, right? You will see different year will go to different row, right? Each country. Okay. And as comparison, this is a long format, right? Country and year and all the observation format. This is the format that's stored in the standard database. And why format like this? Each row is in one country, and each year observation will be one row. So this data is not utilization, is how the vaccine rate, and this is the GDP data for each year. It is a Y format. And Y format is much more useful to display and more useful to run regression. And you probably wonder, you may wonder why we have to know how to convert from here to here, okay, or other way around. One thing is why the data stored in this way, and as an IT manager, probably know the answer. It's because the management of this data set is much easier. Because whenever the new data, just add a row there. When there's missing data, that's not easy, right? Otherwise, if the store data in long format, you have to add column each year, then the operation is very costly, right? But since you got expert, I'm not going to go into detail why this is more efficient. You know better than I do, right? I'm not a computer science expert. You guys are IT manager, better than me. Okay. But what we want to show you is try to do the operation that we have just said. With long format data, okay, we want to convert it to the Y format. So let's see what I'm doing here. I use the Panda package, download the data I just download, read in the Panda. And next I filter only I need country, year, immunization percentage, and GDP per capita. GDP per capita. Immunization, how many people do the immunization, do the vaccine? Not the COVID, normal vaccine. And this is the head. Okay. So I hope by now you should be comfortable with every single line, right? We have seen that many times already. Okay, if you don't know, then you should know it now. Okay. So what it's doing here is still question on the back, no? So what we do is go to here, go to the file and run this, okay? Is that okay? So you can see the data like this. Exactly, it's a long format data. Okay. So now we want to show you is, I should wait 5-10 seconds. Okay, I hope you can download that. Next is to transform this long form into Y format. How I do that? I will use two commands. It's called set index and then unstack. The method is unstack. Okay. I have to set the index, means that the identifier in this case is country and year, right? Because each column is identified by which country and which year, right? And I want to make the year unstack because I want to separate them by year. Okay, of course, you unstack by country, then it's different, right? It will be each year, country, but that's what we want is country by year. Okay, so let's see this one. Let's copy this and run this. And you can run this, you will see. Okay, now it's by country.
And then observation is immunization and by year now. So he said, I convert it from the long format to wide format. Okay? I just iterate why we do that is because long format is data you download from database or your IT guy or the guy gives you the long, but the Y is the one that you use for analysis. So we have to always do this operation. So if you don't remember the set index and unstack, then you can just basically remember how to replace this red, right? So in this class, everything is available for assignment or exam, whatever, right? So what you know is to understand how to replace the red thing. Then you can apply to your case, apply to your assignment, apply to quiz or okay. Other thing is pretty standard. As I said, right? Programming is very difficult, but we're not doing programming, right? We're just using a word command interface of operating computer. Right. So if you don't cover the programming, it's not a big deal, even because we're not doing programming at all. Is that okay? Now, one thing is the data is called in a Python. We do it this way. They store in multi-index, which is a little bit more complicated. So what we need is to put in the we call the single index, which is usually when we run regression, which is much more useful. What we do is the column name, the column two name. So what we do is the column in the column name. I will take the first one, which is the either immunization or GDP and plus the year, and to put it for everything there. So we just say a very abstract way to write because of Python, they call the list comprehension, so they can do it in this way. If you don't, doesn't mean you don't unfollow free form, doesn't matter. You always have this column. You always have these two commands. So you just close your eye, copy and paste and run, that's fine. Whenever you want to understand. So you don't need to worry about if you don't fully follow the idea. So let me copy it and you will see what is it doing. Then you probably appreciate what is there. Okay, you run it. You will see the same thing, but now no longer two row here, but just one. Okay? That's what it's doing. Okay? And this is the one that you will use to understand regression, do analysis based on this data. So this is the form that we need to do regression, machine learning. This is one, not the one along. The long run is not easy for machine to read. Okay. Is that okay? So now you prepare data. Okay. Yeah, any question? Already 10 seconds before I go to the next slide. Good. That's nice. Okay. Now the next thing is, as we said, now we know how to enter one table, right? And we often need to collect one tables, right? Because as IT manager, right, you manage a website or manage an IT system, and data stored in different department or different part of the company, so they combine. And the main thing is you need to map them through the ID or the key, right? And then there are many ways to match them. But what we do is to illustrate through a nice example. If like football or soccer, that would be an interesting case for you. This is the data set that looking at the English Premier League, okay, the English football. And for 10 years data time, the data come from this website is for scrapping the data. You can sort there. There are 3 different data sets we're looking at. The first one is called games, which tell you when the games is happening, okay, home, away, goal, so on and so forth. Like this data. The data is, look at data like this. If you download, you'll be date, home team, away team, how many goals there, home and away. Okay, so this is the data. Okay? Each row is a game. Okay, if you want, we can just click this one. And it'll be here for us to see.
this data, right? Nothing very special, right?
This is division E0, but basically just English Premier. And then there's a season, the when, and the days, and which team, and there's a goals, and but also there's a points. If you win, you get 3 points. If you lose, you get 0. If you draw, you get 1. So that's a standard way to calculate point. If you know anything about soccer, that's very standard. Okay, so that's got the column here, right? And we'll use this column. Okay, and you know that the goal, what we're doing is looking at the most successful football manager in UK, right? And first, you need to run the data on the games, and some data on the teams, and some data on manager, right? Because we want to find the best manager. Means the best manager is the manager that wins the most games or win the most points. The reason why, because the winner of the league is the winner most points. So look at one who won the most points relative to the game they play. So that's the goal of this exercise. Okay. Now, at this moment, I hope you're comfortable with all the functions here. The first one is handler, URL, and 6 weeks. Okay. The new thing here we have introduced is called this sort. Sort variable. So basically, it's just like I want to put all the same team together. Let's see how we run that. Okay, let's run this one. So once you run it, you will see Arsenal is the top. That's what it's so. So group them, you just like sort them by home team. So this is the sort. Doesn't do anything, but just reorder them. You can see the order, the entry from 0 jump to 3,000. So basically just sorting. Nothing very deep here, but it's important to try to see whether why you want to sort it. Probably the data is sorted this way. It's much easier to see what's going on by team. Okay, later we will group things by team. Okay. Let me wait 10 seconds. Okay. So the question first is the data table. It's a tiny table. Yes, because each row is a game. Okay. And each game is on separate row, is not multiple game on the same row. Okay. And what's the ID variable we can identify is the date, home team, and away team. Okay. This is one way to store it. Okay. And that's another way to store it. Okay. This is called team games data. Okay. It's the same data, but in teams level. Okay. And if you download, look at it, look like this. Okay. You will see sometimes data will appear in this way. Okay. You can look at the first column, first row and the third row. First row and the fourth row. Okay. They're the same thing. Okay. And in fact, they have duplicates, right? Because actually it's the Brighton versus Manchester United, and the other one is Manchester United versus Brighton. So actually the same thing, but that's a home team away team. Okay. The duplicate. So that's why you need to take the data, because from the data you see this is how data being recorded, right? And then you duplicate, right? So to make sure that you look at the data whether that duplicate here, right? And it's often data in this way, especially IT manager, right? Because you will record a customer the action in various measures, right? It can happen to be the case that you record him in different roles for the same guy. Okay, make sure that you clean them out, otherwise you make a mistake, right? So that is an example that telling you that it's a good table, no problem. This table, right?
right? If you download it, this is a lie, but just copy it. I think there's nothing very deep here, but when you download it, it will show you the data you've just seen, right?
But if you sort in this way, you can't really see the duplication. But you have to know the data to understand
What's going on here, right? Because otherwise you would have some mistake, right? So maybe you should do this sort by data team, then you can see more clearly what's going on here. Maybe date. Right.
If you sort by date, then you have more better idea than actually like the first one and the third one the same. So that's why it's important to check your data, right? When you duplicate, then you have to know it. It is still a tidy table, okay? But the same game appears twice. And sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't, right? But in this case, I be the data team, but not opponent team, right? Because of the duplication. Okay? As long as ID is correct, there shouldn't be an issue there. Okay. Although there's duplication, but you have to be very careful what data you're using. Now the next is the most important data, because we want to have the data set that look at the best manager, right? We look at manager data. Okay? And if you download this data, okay, you will be able to see how manager are doing, right? So what they're looking at is the manager ID and manager name, what day they start, when they end, which team they're playing, okay, what club they're doing, okay. So that is the idea behind the data, okay. And then each row is one manager, one team, right? Because the same manager can move across team, right, over different seasons. So so we can look at the data as we have seen, right? But if you look at the name and the club will be their ID. Right? So how to download the data is like this. I hope by now this line you should be comfortable with, because we do this so many times. Should be very comfortable what we're doing here. Okay. I think through repetition, then your fear towards Python, if you have any, will disappear. And as we run this code many times. Okay, so this is data that is for the menu. Okay. Now, what we mean to show you is we need to match two things. We need to match the manager data to the games data. Okay. It's not easy to match, so that's why the textbook is scheme. Okay. If you want to work out, you can look it up. Okay. And require some programming. So that's why the book just scheme. Okay. But if you are good at that, you can try. Okay. So what they are matched, why difficult is not a simple, you cannot simply match easily. The reason is being that the data you have is not the right form. This is from here to here, right? So we have to generate many rows, many columns to make sure that you can match, because it's not, the ID doesn't match the same, right? Because in the previous data is the name and team, right? You have base and team as well, but this is not in the right form. You will rewrite this data set to make sure that the ID of this data is the same. So you need dates and a team, the ID, then you can match. Okay, but I'm not going to talk about that because this is related to how to handle the database, how to clean it up.
If you know that it's not difficult, but I'm not going to cover it. Okay, you can figure that out easily. And how to match data? You can have one-to-one matching. That's what we do today. Okay, and then we will have one-to-many-to-one, which we will do next class. It's because, as I said, right, later you see there will be consumer information, right? Basic information, which doesn't change. But I also have another table which gives me the consumer purchasing history, which I want to match to data, right? So in the case of hotel, right, the hotel basic information, and also hotel price information, which is different day of the week, I have different prices. I want to match them together, which I will do manually, right? Because I have one item here, right, which is hotel basic information. I map to every single hotel different days prices, one-to-many, right? Or many-to-one, depending on which side they have. And sometimes many, but I will not go into the detail here. But if you learn SQL or database, this is very standard. Okay, but I'm not going to talk about those because of the time. Okay. For the interest of time, the data already merged for you. It's not complicated if you ever learn database inversion, but we are not database class, so just skip it. Okay. So for the interest of time, just here. Okay? Just like the cooking class, right? They cook, they tell you to cook this, and then because of time, just pick themselves and okay, this is done. Data is here. They combine everything there. You look at this data set. That's what we do. Is to download this data directly. Okay. So we just copy and do this. We work on this data. Okay. And after doing this, this is we'll call our day ends. Okay. So we'll finish the data set in 10 minutes time. So the remaining 10 minutes time, we'll try to work out this data set. Okay. It's combined. We have the date, team, and the manager. It's combined already. Okay. If you are okay with how to handle database or how to combine, you should be able to combine this one. Okay. And now let's assume that this table, what we're going to do is to find the best manager. All right. To find the best manager, we need two things. One is look at how many games each manager played. Second is how many points they got. And do a division, look how efficient he is, right? That is the goal. Okay. The first thing is I will create, I'll look at how many games they play. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I would have a function called group by. It's a thing that I want to make a data set so that I group things together, I will do operation. So what I'm going to do is group each team is manager ID and manager name group together. Okay. Then you see what is going to happen. Actually, nothing will happen, but just sort that together. Okay. Once you do that, what I do is I will have a very useful function called aggregate. Aggregate is trying to operate things in a group level. What I do is I call size, which means the counting. Count how many entry there. And I can actually pick up any column, but I just count division, doesn't mean anything. You can count whatever is fine. Whatever thing to get division, just count how many of them. You can put a column. Division is just a column that's random. You can put anything there. Then you would look at it. Then let's run this code. And maybe I just run one by one, maybe a little bit easier. Okay, let me run this code. The first one, you will see there's nothing actually doing except you can see you sort the thing by team and manager ID and everything. So you just put it this way. Okay. Once you group it, okay, and you run the code I said, okay, aggregate them. You will see that's what is being done. You just count
how many games played by this particular manager in this team. And let me have 10 seconds. You can try to work it out and you can ask me a question. Because I think that's important, you know how to do that part. So do note that what I'm doing is I create a new data set called games, which tell me that for each manager in each team, how many games they play. Okay? I have a new data table. Okay? Each row is one observation. Right? I did people together. Is that clear? So that operation. So after today, you know many things about Python, about data. Right? You know how to stack column, you know how to stack row, how to input them, how to filter them out, how to group them together, how to sort them, how to do some calculation. Okay. Although the calculation is very simple, we just do some. We'll do something else as well. But is that okay? Okay. If okay, then we do one more operation. Another operation we do is want to look at the points that the manager get, right? Each game, if you win, you get 3 points. The team, right? 0 for losing, draw for 1. So what I'm going to do is do a similar operation again, but now I'm not counting the games, but instead I'm looking at how many points you get through all the games you play. So what I do is every game, sum all the points. Sum is a function. The error game, I will call it the manager points, which I apply sum to all the points. Exactly. So this is error game function, right? I erase it in the group. I use the sum operation to sum all the things in the same group by points. Exactly. So let's run this code. I do runs and for all because I think the first row is nothing new. You have seen that already. So what I do here is I run this code. So you will see this will tell us, okay, this manager gets 700 points, right? This manager gets 70 points. Okay. Now I have 2 tables. One table tell me that how many games each manager in each team will play, and how many points they would got. So what I want is how many points a manager can get per game on average, right? So in one division, right? You divide the point by the game and tell us each game how many manager will win, and you sort them based on this point, then you get the most efficient manager. Right? Is that clear what we're doing? Okay. But here we require a very important operation, which is I need to connect 2 tables or join them together. Okay. And to do it, I will use the most basic approach. It's called join. Okay. Because it's one-to-one mapping, they're exactly the same ID. I don't need to have a very complicated method. Later, I will talk about this next class. It's called the merge function. But now, like the SQL, okay? But now, because it's so simple, the same name, let me say, just use join. Mapping is join together. So games.join, then I'm done. Okay, join is a one-to-one mapping. So let's see this win data set. Because it's one-to-one mapping, so our life is very easy. With the join, maybe I do this. Okay. So you can see that what I do is combining the 2 tables in one. That's how we join. Okay. And you can see now you learn create new tables from the data set and how to join them. So you know not already, this is a standard operation in many cases. Okay. And 10 seconds on. You can work it out. What's group by? Group by means that I actually put them in the same group, then I can add and subtract because I only define the sum within the same group because I want to look at, I only want the sum, the manager in the same team, I only add up all the points. So that's why I need the sum. I just combine it, I just look at, that's why I do. Oh, right, because I'm not looking at the sum of a whole data set. I just need by group, I do this operation. That's why I group by. Okay. The question, let me know because if you don't ask, I don't know. Right? I happen to see some of you have some issues struggling, then I just see question, but it's okay. Now, once we're done, is that okay? Is there a question? If no, then we just go to the we're close to the end of our class, is to calculate the win ratio. Now we learn to generate a new variable. Okay, the data set is to create a new variable. And simply in Python, you create new column is very simple. You just tell them what column you create. In this win data table, I call win ratio, which defines as I take the manager points over the manager games. That's a fact, right? It's very simple. We don't need to declare, we just call it and then do that. Okay, let's copy this and run this, and you will see what we got. So you will see that our data, right? I would take this divided by this, get to the win ratio. Good done. So we create a new column, right? So that's where I think you operate for the data, right? We take out something, do some calculation, and create a new column, then that's the best operation for the data. Right? We operate things by the group level, that's the operation on each group. So we're standard operation. Is that okay? And now we are almost done because we can look at who is going to be the top manager. Okay. How to do that? We sort them. Okay. When I sort them is Python only from low to high. Okay. If you want high to low, you have to tell them the descending is false. So it's high to low. And once you do that, you will see the top 10 manager. And that's conclude our class today. Okay. So once you do that, you will see that they will be sorted by high to lowest, and the top 10 manager, I just had this 10, top 10 guy. Okay. So as promised, I end this class earlier. Actually, I have to delay 5 minutes, but I think it's okay. Still 5 minutes earlier. I still 5 minutes from you. I figure out how to return the 5 minutes, but that's okay. If there's no question, then almost done here. Of course, I have some slide left over. I will cover next class, but I think that is good because in summary, you learn a lot of things today already. You learn how to handle the table, how to input, how to load the table, the Python, how to clean it up, how to select columns, how to select observation, how to do calculation, how to sort them, how to answer some questions. Okay, we are using the data to answer the question we want to ask at the beginning. So I hope you're happy. Enjoy the weekend. I will see you next week. Don't have happy Mooncake Festival. Don't eat too much. Enjoy. Bye-bye.